All right, whoa, what's good, man? My name is FlemLo Raps. Want to welcome y'all back to This Week in Last Chance U. This is the weekly series where we discuss notable news from within the Last Chance U universe. So if you're brand new here, you haven't subscribed and you in the Last Chance U, what is you doing? Click the subscribe button, click the bell to enable your notifications, and make sure you're checking back every single week for another episode. In today's video, we got news on Coach Brown, Dakota Allen, Terry Wilson, DJ Williams, yeah, a few new names, and a few more familiar faces. Without further ado, y'all already know what time it is. This Week in Last Chance U, cue the Wayne. Real quick before we jump into the video, I gotta give a shout out to today's video sponsor, SeatGeek. Now, SeatGeek is an app that aggregates tickets from all over the internet, putting tickets in one place and making the buying experience as simple as possible for you. They grade these tickets on a scale from 1 to 100, giving you a quick assessment of the value of each deal. They also allow you to preview the view of each seat before you even get there. That way you can have a better understanding of what your experience is gonna be like once you actually get to the game. If you want to download the SeatGeek app, all you gotta do, click the link in the description, and don't forget, use my code FlemLo for $20 off your first purchase. Let's get it. So Halloween was yesterday and there were a few Last Chance U based costumes. Now when I saw this, it really made me understand just the cultural phenomenon that Last Chance U is becoming. Once people start basing their Halloween costumes on your show, you're doing pretty good and you're probably gonna be here for a while. From a celebrity standpoint, Michael Rappaport dressed up as Coach Brown and really took the costume to heart as he cursed a couple cats out. Check out the clip.
Motherfuckers can't play motherfucking football. Slap motherfuckers, I'll choke one of you motherfuckers out. Go to my motherfucking beach house in Los Angeles, listen to some motherfucking Charlie Wilson, motherfucker.
We also had this guy pull out the Bobby Bruce Scary Bunny costume as well. And the guy on the left rocked it with a lot more confidence and swag, so I gotta give him the nod as far as the best Bobby Bruce costume, but dope costumes for each guy nonetheless. Now personally, I'm not a big holiday guy, definitely not a big Halloween guy, but I spent some time with the fam and my son had a damn good time. This year was a little bit different as this was the first year I'm not in an apartment, so we actually had trick-or-treaters, and it blew my mind that my son was completely okay with sharing his candy with strangers. Like, I was shocked. Anyway, man, let me know in the comments, how was y'all's Halloween? Hope y'all enjoyed it. Now let's move on to some of the top performances from this past week. Dakota Allen and Texas Tech actually took a loss to Iowa State, but Dakota had 16 total tackles. Only 2 solo, amazingly, but 14 assisted tackles. Dude was everywhere. And I know this is This Week in Last Chance U, but I should mention that Rial Mitchell from QB1 did not play for Iowa State, but with Zeb Nolan transferring, Rial has been promoted to 3rd string quarterback, and while I wouldn't say it's likely that he plays this season, it is now more of a possibility. Figured I should mention that because somebody out there, I'm sure, was wondering. Rakeem Boyd and the Arkansas Razorbacks also lost their game this past week, but Rakeem, much like Dakota, still got off in the loss. 19 carries for 113 and a touchdown. DJ Williams from Indy is balling out for Utah State, and he got his first pick of the season this past week versus New Mexico. This gives the JUCO junior corner a total of 27 tackles, 3 for loss, 1 sack, a forced fumble, 6 pass breakups, and 1 interception on the season. Dude is eating. Now today I want to talk a little bit about Terry Wilson, starting quarterback for Kentucky. Now I usually stay at EMCC and Indy only, but I wanted to give a shout out to Terry because he's been playing well and his team keeps winning. Now, Terry was the quarterback from Garden City in season 3. He originally signed with Oregon before going to Garden City, and after that 1 year, he got offers to Nebraska, Florida, Baylor, and a few other schools. But he opted to attend Kentucky, and so far, so good. His passing stats aren't great, but he is the starting quarterback of a number 11 ranked 7-1 Kentucky team. He's coming off a big game versus Mizzou where he threw for a season high 267 yards, completing 71% of his passes. On the season, he has just under 1,000 yards passing with 400 yards rushing and a total of 8 touchdowns. He turned the ball over kind of a lot early in the season, but he's only thrown 1 pick in his last 3 games, as he seems to be making strides as a decision maker. This weekend, Kentucky plays number 6 ranked Georgia, so I'm interested in seeing how he performs in this game. All right, moving on from there, let's talk about a few stories from EMCC. EMCC themselves just locked up another playoff spot, so Buddy Stevens and the crew is gonna be fighting to get another junior college championship. In some not so great news, it may be time to give up on Deandre Johnson ever starting at FAU. Chris Robinson did not start last game, but instead of Deandre moving into the starting role, it was Rafe Peavy. And as usual, FAU took a loss. They fell to 3-5 in that game. So the team continues to not play very well, but Lane Kiffin clearly has pretty much zero belief in Deandre Johnson, as he still has not had an opportunity even though the team isn't playing particularly well. Here's the even bigger issue. After being at Florida State, going JUCO, and then to FAU, another transfer would be a lot to ask, okay? Deandre is a junior and he's got 1 more year of eligibility after this one, and it'll be interesting to see how he decides to spend it. Remember the D-line coach, Coach Williams, from season 1 and 2? Well, this past year he did leave EMCC to take a D-line gig at UT Chattanooga, a team that was 3-8 last season. This season, he's helped them to a 5-2 start, already winning 2 more games than they did all of last year. So congrats to Coach Williams, he's doing this thing. Now real quick, let's discuss Chad Kelly. Now I dropped a standalone video on the Chad Kelly situation probably the day that it happened, but I do want to recap here as a little bit more information has come out since the video. Not to mention, all of you guys may not have seen that video, so let's jump into it real quick. Now, if you're unaware of the situation, allow me to give you the abridged version, okay? Chad Kelly was arrested after Von Miller's Halloween party. Apparently, he walked into a couple's home uninvited and sat down on the couch. He was said to have been mumbling incoherently, and the man of the house grabbed a vacuum cleaner, smacked him with it, ran Chad out of the house. Chad was later arrested by the cops like a block from the people's house. That's the short version. There's a lot of theories going around on this. My theory is that Chad had been to this house before and that he probably had a situation with this guy's wife. I mean, he walked into the house and sat on the couch next to her and the kid as if everything was normal. So it's a very weird situation indeed. Now, Chad was released by the Broncos the next day, and he's now completed the trifecta of being kicked off of a high school team, a college team, and an NFL team for getting into trouble. It's unknown at this point if Chad Kelly will get another opportunity, but ironically, he's probably just blown his last chance. Now real quick here before we end, I want to talk about one of the guys who really helped kick off the entire Last Chance U series. That's John Franklin III. JF3 was one of the favorite characters on the show and continues to be one of my favorites post show. I feel like out of all the guys, he's handled post Last Chance U the best. He's used the light that he gained from the show to do other things. He made it into the league, played some preseason games, sat on the practice squad for a second before he was cut, but he immediately started going into other ventures. He began working on his clothing line. Now he's moving around and starting to speak to some of these younger football players. JF3 gets a lot of hate, will always get a lot of hate. I understand that, because a lot of people only look at it from an on the field standpoint, and he might not have been the most talented football player, but he continues to work, he continues to reinvent himself and find himself in different industries. He continues to give back. He's doing signings, he's speaking to different places, he's staying busy and creating opportunities for himself, and I have to give a huge nod to JF3 for doing that. I feel like it's a lesson we can all learn from, because obviously not everybody's gonna make a career from playing football, but that doesn't mean you can't take either what you've learned in football or the platform that football may have created for you and spin that into something else. That's what John Franklin has been doing, and not every single thing that he attempts is gonna work, but the successes will come. All right, fellas, that's all I got for you this week, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. If you did, don't forget click the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new. But other than that, I'm gonna holler at y'all next time. My name is FlemLo Raps. One. Peace.
Yeah, I'm no quitter, 'cause I'ma go